All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going on a journey to the center of the Earth, and trust me, it's a wild ride. A whole bunch of new discoveries are completely rewriting our planet's story. It turns out that the solid ground beneath our feet is connected to a hidden world that's changing way faster than we ever thought possible. So let's just start with a question that kind of messes with everything you probably learned in geology class. What if that neat little textbook diagram of the Earth is just wrong? You remember this, right? This is the Earth we were all taught about. Four simple layers: crust, mantle, a liquid outer core, and that solid iron ball right at the center. It's all very predictable, very stable, and let's be honest, it's a little bit boring. Well, it turns out the real story is so much cooler. Okay, so the first big clue that our simple model was totally off, it wasn't some grand discovery, it was more like noticing a change in the planet's heartbeat. A shift in the rhythm of its very core. So check this out. For the longest time, we knew the inner core was kind of in a hurry, spinning just a little bit faster than the rest of the planet. But then, around 2010, scientists looking at earthquake data saw something weird. That extra speed, it was disappearing. The core started to slow down. And now, it's actually spinning slower than the surface. It's lagging behind us. And this wasn't some tiny little change that the models predicted. No way. This was a huge surprise. I mean, it left the scientists who found it totally perplexed. This was the first real proof that the deep Earth isn't just changing over millions of years, it's changing on a timescale that we can actually see right now. So, this mysterious slowdown, it was a massive clue. It basically screamed that the core couldn't be just a simple, solid ball of iron. No, it had to be way more complex. And yeah, that complexity was hiding something big. But that brings up a good question, right? How in the world do you see something that's thousands of kilometers beneath your feet? It's under insane pressure, it's insanely hot, you obviously can't just drill down there. So how do they do it? Well, they listen. It's pretty amazing, actually. When there's a huge earthquake somewhere, it literally makes the entire planet ring like a giant bell. Scientists then track those vibrations, the seismic waves, as they travel all the way through the Earth. By studying how those waves bend or slow down or bounce off things, they can build a map of what's inside. It's basically like giving the Earth an ultrasound. And by listening to those echoes, researchers in Australia found something incredible. A fifth layer. A whole new layer nobody knew was there. A solid metallic ball, about 650 kilometers in radius, sitting right at the very heart of our planet. So this is our new picture of Earth. Forget the simple layers. It's much more like one of those Russian nesting dolls, a matryoshka. There's a secret core hidden inside the inner core we thought was the end of the line. And you might be asking, okay, so what? Why is this such a big deal? Well, because this little ball might be like a time capsule from when our planet was born. The thinking is that some huge planet-altering event billions of years ago totally changed how the iron crystals inside were formed. And this innermost core basically fossilized that moment. It's sealed off, right at the center of the world. But wait, the story doesn't stop there. Let's move up a layer to the boundary between the core and the mantle. We used to picture this as a smooth line, but nope, it's a whole hidden world down there, with a landscape that is just monumental. We think of Mount Everest as being just massive, right? The biggest thing on the planet. Well, it's a tiny hill compared to what's going on deep inside the Earth. Down at that core mantle boundary, there are mountains that are up to 1,000 kilometers high. 1,000. That's more than 100 times taller than Everest. It's almost impossible to even picture. Okay, so the technical name for these things is large, low-velocity provinces. Basically, they're these gigantic blobs of denser, different stuff that slows down earthquake waves. And the two biggest ones, they've even got nicknames, Tuzo and Jason, are the size of continents. I mean, think about that. Together, they make up a staggering 6% of the Earth's entire volume. So the old picture of the mantle was this chaotic, churning ocean of hot rock, right? Well, these giant structures throw a wrench in that. The evidence points to them being super old, maybe 500 million years old, and incredibly stable. They're just sitting there, which means that parts of the deep Earth are way less chaotic than we ever thought. Okay, so at this point, you're probably thinking, a slowing core? Buried mountains? This is cool, but why does it matter to me? It's a fair question. Why should we care about all this stuff happening thousands of kilometers beneath us? Well, it matters because it affects literally everything. That churning liquid core, That's our planet's engine. It generates the magnetic field that protects us from all the nasty radiation the sun throws at us. That slowing inner core, its gravity tugs on the layers above it, which can actually change the length of our day, even if it's just by a tiny fraction of a second. But the biggest takeaway here is this. Our planet isn't just some dead ball of rock. It's a living, dynamic system, and it's changing in ways we can watch happen in our own lifetimes. So, what we've learned is that the heart of our planet is so much more alive than we ever imagined. It's got a hidden core, mountains that dwarf anything on the surface, and its rhythm is changing as we speak. It really makes you wonder, right? What other secrets is it still holding on to, just waiting for us to find?